Joe, this is 24 Webster Newark. I'm just doing a video walkthrough with you regarding some of the structural issues. It may be hard to see on the video, maybe not, but if you're looking at the ceiling, it kind of goes up. But look at this view. You'll see how it starts to dip down over here. That's one of the issues. Second, you have a real big dip that starts up over here. It's pretty significant. Let me do this. That board that you're seeing there is close to level. It's a little bit higher up, but the bottom line, you can see there's still a big difference for the level that's there. This bathroom, again, you have everything that is tilting down. If you look at the tiles in the tub there, you see the bottom ones are cut on an angle. It's smaller and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So that tells you how much of a dip you have going on there. You have the sheetrock that has fallen from the mold. You have the roof, which is basically what causes this problem. Because what's probably happened is you have a lot of the roof damage. It's probably gone down the side of the house, and it has deteriorated some of the floor joists. So you see a lot of this dipping in the house. On this floor over here, I mean, the carpet's all wet because every time it rains, you have water coming in here, and this is just dripping right down the floor. So you know, underneath this carpet, the floor that's underneath here is going to be destroyed, and it's just not a matter of take this up and put down new carpet. You're going to have, you got mold issues all the way across. So there's a chance that you might be ripping off the subfloor of this one. But on this house, or on the house here, you can see the roof. All that stuff is wet. But more importantly, this beam right here, I don't know if you can see it, but you see how it's cut? This also is fire damaged. So I don't know the extent of how much fire damage was here. But that's, one of the issues you have going on. I'm not getting into like the full rehab purpose of this because it's just a structural, but I mean, I have notes on everything. So you have your furnace. This isn't helping you either. If you can see all the cracks in there, you can actually see outside that window. That's why you have all the mold and the mildew building up there. And you see that it's just stained right here. So all this gets ruined every time it rains. On the second floor, it's not too much, but you can see right over here we have the puddles of water because that's coming from the roof damage as the carpet is just saturated. It's really not that bad in this specific unit. I just have like a window that's boarded up. So you take a couple steps down. They have the stairs to the backyard. That's not all of our backyard, but you'll see there is debris in there in the back, which I'm not going to get to right now. The other issue you got to be concerned with is when you're selling this house, the fire staircase, you're going to have this all sanded up, repainted and re-cleaned, and you got to make sure that's structurally sufficient, which actually it looks like it is. You could probably sand that and paint that because that's going to be issues for you down the road. In this bathroom here, I mean, as I walk in, I can feel that I'm pushing the floor down. So the floor joists here, which are probably tapped to the wall, are probably just so water rotted. So if you kind of see like the back of the toilet or some higher, you can already see that it's sinking down into the ground, and this floor is just like a V right here. So that means when you pull this floor up, not only are you going to have subfloor issues, you're going to have framing structural issues as well. But you really feel it as you're walking here. And that's just some of the plumbing, which is a guarantee. I know we're going to have problems on that. When you have the cast iron pipe that's so rusted like that, one, it's probably broken. Two, you'll see you have galvanized pipe there that is going to probably be all clogged up. So you're going to have a lot of issues with plumbing. You're going to have a lot of issues with electric. You're essentially going to be going new because it's going to be cheaper, easier, quicker, faster, and better to go new. This hallway, by the way, is just very narrow. I mean, this has got to be about 20 feet long, and it's claustrophobic, but there's nothing you can really do about it. This unit basically, from the sheetrock perspective, has the most damage. I mean, you can see we have a lot of mold in the closet. There's a lot of mold in that closet there on the sheetrock, all behind here on the second floor. So this furnace, unfortunately, I mean, these weren't put in with permits. There's not enough space on this side of the permit. You're probably, or on the furnace. You're probably got to take this wall and move it out a little bit. It's not also piped right. This would be fine to start up 2 inches, but because of the way this is vented, it's got to turn from 2 inches to 3 and go out. And then we got to think about how much damage we have, because you can see all the water that has been spewing down on the machine. Typically, when you end up seeing that, and that's the cover. I mean, imagine the home inspection that's going to come along with this. And if we have water there, you have a good chance that the motherboard has had damaged as well. This is the separation you're seeing on the wall between the fireplace. So we have a big gap there, but you can see all the cracking that has come down here. That's from the floor joists that are getting wet down below. We'll go see those in a minute. But all this has, if you kind of see how the sheetrock has starting to bow out like that. So when you get that separation, you know you start to have these framing issues. I'll take the light out, but you see how I can see the outside of the house? That means that these the wall joists, they're supposed to sit on a sill plate, which they have new cinder block underneath here, as you'll see right there. But the problem that they have is the sill plate should have been pressure treated. But look at the condition of this joist, how rotted away these are. When you have things like this, I could break these with my fingers right now. So what ends up happening is when I do this, you can't see because I'm shaking the. Actually, you can see it with your watch. I don't know if you can see that because I'm shaking the video, but the whole wall starts to bow out because this whole wall structurally is not supported well. And again, you can see the outside. And this is what happening is right now is everything's starting to fall down and the tiles popped out. And you'll see down below why that's happening. But this cast iron pipe right here, because you have no heat in this house and it's exposed, expect by the time you get here or when you open this all up, you'll see big cracks on this cast iron pipe. That's almost guaranteed. And this pipe is the galvanized pipe. Even though it looks about that big, it is probably only about that big of a drainage pipe. Or actually it's the vent pipe. But you're going to have, again, issues. More mold. You have the mold that is grown inside, and that's the return for the air conditioner or the HVAC unit. That means you're going to have all that mold within the ductwork pipe up here as well. They just have the back door boarded off. You know, that's actually not mold right there. That's just like really grimy, gross stuff from cooking. But you know, some of the old, this is mold up on the ceiling, and mold which is going all the way around the air vents. And then we just have a little closet back here. See, I'll get you a view. So I mean, you do have some of the garbage back there. I'll have to work on the railings. So going downstairs, another issue we have here are these stairs. I can feel as I'm walking down like I'm about to fall forward, which means that these stairs are not leveled, just because they've been rotting out. You have a lot of water down here, and this is sewage water. I mean, I can absolutely smell it. And you can see like there's like toilet paper stuff there. Concern you're going to have with that is your sewer line cracked. If that's the case, that's a big deal. But over there where you see the stairs, there's some metal right here because you have a flat sidewalk. Well, this is a custom one built, but a flat sidewalk access door. Every time it rains, it comes in here. What you might want to do is lift up the floor right here to go to where this bottom step is, and make a drain and tap it into here somehow, because the drain unfortunately is above ground, but maybe we can make it connect. Without getting over there, we have some of the electric panels, which they're all going to have to get redone. The stack, you can see how it pitches down and then it goes back up. That means that this is going to be flooded with sewer line water. This vent right here, it's not even connected to anything. It's completely collapse and fall down. And this is already too much of a pitch for this sewer line. So we know that, unfortunately, stuff was just not put together professionally. You have the gas meters. There seems to be some issues over here with the water connection. I hope we don't have to get into like a water main. But I don't know if this is what people are talking about structurally, but I'll try to see if I can show you this. But basically you have a floor joist right there. And it might be hard to see in the video, but there's a cross member beam that spans to over here. That means that these two beams right here, 1 and 2, are taking the load of the extra 1, 2, 3 joist, which is too much by code. So the beam that's going across is fine, but you got to do a lot of Tico brackets here but you need to double up this beam right here from one side of the house all the way to the other, and you need to do it on the other side so it supports the house and the floor. Because you have a lot of this water that's just sitting here on the floor, let me go somewhere where it's not dirty. You see, like I have a lot of the mold growing in here. I mean, this stuff is kind of growing all over the place. So that is really in between. I mean, it's like mold that is just fuzzy and growing deep. But that kind of stuff is going between your floor, your actual subfloor, and the floor above it. Over here in the basement, so if you notice that joist over here was sitting on the brick, typically they sit on a sill plate. But you see how that one is basically flush to the top of the brick? You see how this one is dropped about a good 1.5 inches? That means that beam is so waterlogged or termite, but this one is not really termites, but it is just compressed with all the weight. So you'd have to sister some of these joists, maybe add a sill plate. I don't know if they're calling this a structural issue. I mean, this is really like an interior wall anyway. It's just holding up the dirt. Give you a look there, because that's the foundation wall. This is the brick wall. This is really not much of an issue. I mean, you can kind of close this up and, you know, get rid of it, make it go away. This is all your electrical wire. You can see how this is completely rusted. This is not anything that's going to pass code. So all these are going to be getting ripped out and taken down. That is the neighbor's house underneath their side of the crawl space. So that has to get closed up. But you know, you have these double brick wall foundations, and that's just the way these houses were built. So there's really like no sill plates. But if I take my light, you know, you see I can see outside right there. So we have some type of those issues, but this doesn't really look like we have, you know, the whole house is falling apart. The only one I really want to point out is like this beam right here. You can see how there's no brick underneath this one here. So that's taking the support of the load. You have that one and you have this one over here. So there is some minor framing. I don't want to say minor, I'll call it medium framing. There's some medium framing that needs to be done here, but it's nothing where it's like the whole house is falling down. And because the house is only, it's about 12 feet wide, or no, I think it's 14.5 feet. So it's 15 feet on these beams. You know, it's good that, you know, as long as you fix these support beams, you will be able to support the house. I am going to just run out real quick to show you the outside. The outside, there's actually really not too much to discuss out there, except that we know that we have a roof issue. We know that we're going to have to do you know, just not a new roof, but we're going to have to do new sheathing for a new roof, in addition to some of the roof rafters. So from here, I mean, I would just end up maybe painting the house, because you'll see the difference over there. This part of the roof here is completely deteriorated and rotted. And this was the access door that every time it rains, you can see things are going to go right down in here. Right? So you're always going to get water in that basement unless you do something on the inside to divert that water. That's pretty much it.